Welcome to the Gakusei Games podcast. Today we're joined with Liam,
Josh,
John,
George, and Charlie.
Unfortunately, our sixth member of the team, Dan, cannot join us today. So let's talk about the different concepts and ideas we all had for our 3D game. Let's start with you, Josh.
Okay, well, my concept for my idea is a game which is set in space, which is where the player will pilot a form of spacecraft in which their goal is to fly through many checkpoints in which they receive fuel to carry on flying, as well as rewards in the form of points, which may be used throughout the game for other reasons. The player will also be tasked with dealing with any enemies that may come near, as if they destroy them as we start the mission. And the main concept is for the player to get the highest score possible in order to unlock all the other ships and to necessarily beat the game and save the galaxy.
What about your idea, John?
to sum up my idea, the game is set in World War III and Putin is taken over, and the US Naval Forces are sent in a squad, preferably the Navy SEALs, and it's your mission to obtain an objective or a source of information from a base, and once you've collected it, you have to fight your way out, and depending on who dies within your squad, the final plot of the story will change.
Very well, nice.
And George?
My game was about you playing as just a random guy, and you go around defeating zombies and monsters in some haunted house, and you just after every level you just keep going up levels, different rooms in the houses and stuff, and yeah, basically it, I guess. Yeah.
What about your idea, Charlie?
My idea is like an FPS shooter that you have to be silent all the time. So you start off with a pistol that has a silencer on it, and you just go through levels, gaining experience and coins or whatever it is, and then you can buy upgrades or buy different guns. But the aim of the game is you have to be silent to complete the levels and take out people kind of like an assassin.
Nice. And my idea is a sci-fi Wild West themed first-person shooter. So you have space cowboys, alien outlaws, robot bandits, all sorts of combinations between a futuristic and classic Wild West theme. And you can have a Wild West town for the levels, surrounded by loads of canyons and spaceships.
How can we develop Liam's idea, and what kind of additions or stuff we could take away or add to the game?
Well, I think a good thing which we could add on or be part of the game would be since the game is a first-person shooter and set in the Wild West, a few terms, there'd be a way instead of the player just using simple guns, they'd have access to many other guns. So in the form of maybe going to NPCs that could trade materials and stuff, or even reward them with weapons if they do certain things, and that kind of stuff.
I've been designing a gun shop for the actual game.
What sort of guns you got?
I was thinking of keeping it classic, so you just have a revolver, maybe an energy source instead of actually having bullets.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Are we gonna have that animation where when he brings out the revolver, he springs it around his finger?
Well, if you want to copy McCree, yeah.
That's just kind of how the Wild West thing is. And now we're gonna have.
They all just spun out in the finger.
Yeah.
Like a head. No way.
Yeah. Sometimes their gun took off in the air because there's a helicopter.
Maybe it's how you reload the gun by spinning it.
Yeah.
Where it reloads.
It's like a proton charge, isn't it? It's energy. It ain't gonna be like you're getting out shells.
Are we gonna also have? You were talking about canyons and stuff like that. Are we gonna have two different towns on each side of the canyon, and you would have a bridge between them? And it'd be some kind of rivalry.
Should we make the two different towns the new Wild West and the old one?
Yeah, we could do that. That's
Yeah,
good.
cool.
And
Yeah.
one has the ability to go to a different planet or something like that, and one has
Would that
the
be-
ability to just be normal and be standard Wild West with all the taverns and stuff like that.
Yeah, on that idea, we were I was discussing with Liam about the idea of there being alien enemies, so that maybe like the alien wants to be part of like the newer town, which goes to other planets. Or maybe there's some like alien members, and meanwhile, like the old Western one wants to be like more of just humans who are not so fond of the other new species in the place and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to include both like aliens and humans, like in the Western towns, like a bit like the Star Wars Cantina.
Hmm.
I think
I
that's
don't think we
cool.
can push it. If we push the envelope too much, it becomes cringe-worthy.
Hmm.
So we have to make sure we find the right blend, the right mold.
We also need to have like a clear. Also, we have to have a clear like division point between Wild West and the future, but we have to make them so they can blend together nicely when you do meet them both.
Like I was telling you before, the outside, like the exterior of all the buildings has to be futuristic.
Hmm.
But then the interior, I feel it has to at least have some heritage to it, so it has to look how it would have back in the Wild West.
Well, we could have like you know, when they have like hunting stuff all around the walls and stuff like animals' heads and stuff like that. We could have that going on the walls.
Right, that's
Actually,
what-
the
This is
inside
Wild
should
West,
be
like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's more Game of
But
Thrones
that's
based.
what they normally have in like taverns and stuff like that. And it looks kind of cool.
Don't know
Is
what
it?
taverns you've been to.
God, I've never seen one in the Wild West film like that.
I think we should have robots as like our store clerks and bank clerks and everything.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, good idea.
You know, like robots, like they might like look futuristic, but they've got like
Not like
forces
passenger,
like,
because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just too cringy. That's cringy.
Are we gonna be
That
able
is
to
cool.
like? Are we gonna be able to like interact with the robots? So like,
Or
you know
like
how they have in,
Fallout.
like Fallout, you can interact with them and like different stuff do different things.
Yeah, but that's your best friend, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
This ain't your best friend. He's gonna kick you out for getting a bit drunk.
Yeah, but like as in that you can go up to him and tell him to go
He
and
can
get
order a
something,
drink. Probably.
or you can
We
do
should
trade
probably
with him,
put
so you
that
can walk
feature
up and go, do you have
yeah,
revolver bullets? And then you pay so much to go and get revolver bullets.
Well, you'd go for the gun store for that where it'd serve you, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but that's obviously
Yeah.
they would have robots in there as well.
robot
You could have a black market.
Oh yeah, and that. So like maybe there might be a hidden faction within the game, or like those who don't believe in either way, sort of like a black market, sort of like in the centre, like often the desert somewhere, like small little village of people who don't believe in either side, and sort of black market for both sides, kind of idea.
Oh, we're gonna make our character like customizable as well. So where you could like change his clothes to like maybe we make 4 different characters or 4 different styles of the character.
We
I
could
mean,
try
And
to.
throughout the game, you unlock each character, and then maybe at the end, something happens to him that makes him into maybe half a robot or like and then half human. So then you unlock the skin for him, so you can use that skin in game.
So he's constantly like the more he like
The
improves
more you
throughout the
play
game, the
through,
more
yeah, the more skins
he
you
becomes
unlock, kind
more-
of thing, and they kind of tie
Yeah.
into what happens in the game as well.
that seems pretty good. So yeah.
So like maybe like in a mission, like half his face might burn off. So then he would have like the
That
Terminator.
reminds
The
That
Terminator.
reminds me a bit like Crisis, in which like the main character he starts with human wearing a suit, and he keeps changing to a point where he's pretty much just a suit, and like improving and stuff, like that kind of concept.
Like Slender Man.
What about if he's like the first breed of his kind of cowboy? Like he's experienced an accident, you know, like COD did in Infinite Warfare. I mean, Black Ops, you know, where they have the robotic arms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So he's a new breed of cowboy, and he's
Like-
a lot stronger than the others, and he uses it for the good of the town.
Are we
So
gonna
it's
have
just
like
sort of
are we gonna have
like-
like different factions as well? Like so like
Well, like
where you'd have
factions
different
and
gangs
cowboys.
kind of thing.
I guess
Yeah,
that fashion for each village, like one versus the other, really.
Yeah.
I think he'd be like, if it is what we're going with, like he was like a new breed. Like I feel like the character, like the other, like at first, like, he might be like looked down upon for like being different from everyone else. Like he's much different to how everyone else was.
Yeah.
So I think that helped build up his character in sense like, as in, he doesn't really mind. He just wants to like kind of be a good guy about things. Like doesn't mind what happens to him. Just wants everyone to be.
So just
Better.
embed the first world problem.
Mm.
Or we could have, you know, where like in Far Cry 4, where you have to liberate places to make them your own. You could like do that with like towns and cities and stuff like that, and whatever we make.
So what, like Saints
Yeah,
Row,
like
you
that.
have to take
You would
over
go in there
territories.
and gain the trust of people, and then that's your town, and then all the factions could come in, and you have to fight against them to take back your land.
Climb radio towers.
Yeah, climb
In the
radio
Wild
towers
West.
and yeah, fly down and take over towns and stuff like that.
What about you have a classic shootout, a standoff, while all the rest of you, like your other cowboys, fight off with the allies of the main boss of that territory?
Yeah.
So like a bit like boss fights in which like a quick draw, like they sort of walk.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we
draw.
could when they lock eyes, it goes slow motion, and then you have pretty much maybe like 3 seconds to aim and
Get a
shoot.
headshot.
Yeah.
Get a headshot.
You have 3 seconds to aim and shoot, and maybe your crosshair starts at like maybe the stomach area, and you have to try and put it up in time to shoot.
That'd
Yeah,
be a
well.
really unique mechanic, I think.
Yeah,
You know.
that'd be good mechanic.
Hopefully we could develop that into the game. Another thing, what form of transport within the game? Is it you be based within the player walking? Or
I mean, originally we thought of having like robotic horses. Maybe they'd be floating and powered with rocket engines. And they just like, gallop about
Yeah.
across.
No, I think you have to have the horses like proper, just robotic, and we could have carriages that just float, powered by probably an energy force.
Well, we could have like with the horses, if we're gonna have like them all robotic, but are we gonna make them look like horses still, but just robotic insides? If we're gonna do that, we could have a horse, but like the half or the where the butt is, the bit of the skin's like ripped off, so you can see the inner mechanics of the horse.
what? So you know where to charge it?
No,
but
it doesn't have like a USB slot. You like plug in. You plug
I
in.
think
I
you
was
could-
thinking, what if, like, one thing is like quite, like, mainly Western based. Like, they have normal horses, but like, the rival game might be like more high tech in that sense. Like, instead of having like the older ones go on the normal horses, there might be like ones that just sort of go back on the robot ones, sort of like on an upgrade, so they're like fast and longer, kind of thing.
I think the horses either have to be robotic or they have to look real, because if they look real, then you might as well not specify that they're robotic, because no one's going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, we have to have some kind of feature on them to make them show that they're robotic as well.
Give them a Terminator eye, that'll do. That way.
If we're going with Charlie's idea of like the USB slot, then that's how you could upgrade your horse. You could install new programs.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
cool
it's
actually.
like-
Run faster.
And what, like your finger's like a thing and you just plug it in? No way. That's weird.
You would upgrade the firmware and it would change the skin
Maybe
of the horse or
not
something.
in that area. Maybe like more like the side of its stomach or like on the side of its
I
torso.
think of its temple. It's temple.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Or
just
like, or
look
like
up
right in the
to
center of its head, it's got like a
Plug in
flashing
the
light or
USB.
something. or like on the side of its where its rib cage has got like the
Oh,
bars
nice.
of charge.
I don't
Well,
want to get behind a horse. That's a bit dangerous.
Yeah, we got the bars of charge. So like we're galloping into a city and it suddenly just runs out of battery. So you have to go and find a plug socket somewhere.
Or like maybe like the back of its head, like when you ride it, it's like a power button.
Yeah.
Like just,
Yeah, power it down and then like lock it up with your passcode.
Or maybe they're about midway through the desert, and it's like restart will begin in 5 minutes. Please choose.
Yeah, my horse is not working. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on?
Up again. Yeah.
just hear the Windows startup
Yeah.
sound.
So,
what kind of level design are we gonna have for our thing? Are we gonna have like what about Liam? What kind of level would you want to see in your game?
Well, my original idea was having like the first level set in a canyon, and then that can transition into a cave which has like a gold mine in it. I think that'd be some good locations. It'd be pretty simple to make, 3D modeling wise as well.
yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Josh?
Well, if it's set in a Western theme, like for level design, since it's not set, although it's Western theme, it's not set within a time. So like, maybe it could be like on a set in a different kind of planet, like it's still like in Western times, just like
Mars.
yeah, possibly so that's like terrain's a bit different. Like still city, but like
Would you have like
there
a
might be,
different
like,
colour scheme as well? To like
Yeah,
show that you're in a different place.
That's a good idea. I hadn't considered that. Like, I mean, we could have like red sand if it's like a Mars sort of.
Yeah.
Or then maybe like
Right.
purpley green sky, like at certain points of the day, like just change the colour completely than what's used to.
What about your John? What about your level design? What do you think?
In terms of level design, I think my favourite part of the 3D model would probably be the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm really looking forward to that. So like making the bars, the general store, the sheriff's county office, the bank, maybe a town hall.
Yeah, that'd work.
I was thinking of maybe something like obviously like a train track that would go through the whole town, but then you would have where obviously it's switched between Western to like the future. The train that was normally on there has like upgrades on it where like it would normally be floating, it's been tipped over and stuff like that. And then you could have like obviously the taverns and stuff like that like floating off the floor and stuff like that. It'd be cool. Or like
One thing though, I think if it's set in Western times, would they be like follow their own Western views? Like, would they have like a set view on stuff? Would they have like religions or that kind of aspect to it?
back then I'd say obviously they had like loads of stuff. They're mostly gangs and stuff that they were in. So we could have like different gang areas that they had like maybe if it's like a gang that had like mostly a red color in their badge or something, it would be like a more or like most of the buildings were painted red and stuff like that to like
Maybe
symbolize
more-
you were there. And then you would have to obviously take them down and call that your like place.
The cash currency though, I think we shouldn't keep it as coin, like gold, purely because if it is in the future, maybe you could have gold as like a cash converter sort of thing. So you take it to a certain store and they convert it into digital money.
Yeah, like dollars or pounds or something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, because then you could obviously you would have to take into account like maybe 50k gold is only really like 25k.
But it's
normal
quite
money.
cheap at this point.
Yeah, normal money. So like you would have to get double of the gold to go and get 50k normal money. That'd be cool though.
If it's still digital now, wouldn't that mean like some games might be like you see them like kind of hackers kind of in games trying to like hack into the credits and stuff. So like they might instead of like mugging other like
Well, it's kind of like what they did
NPCs.
at Watch Dogs, where like people could randomly join your world and try and hack into you. And
That's
take
all
your
I've
Yeah.
done on Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
Just hack people for their money.
yeah.
So I had hundreds of thousands.
And it's when you had a car chase and you bring up like the bollards and the police went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Would-
what
would we
about some
have-
ideas?
Would we have
For-
would we have police in that one?
Police?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've got
You'd have the
I've
sheriff,
been
wouldn't you?
designing the sheriff's department.
Yeah, but what would he ride on a horse, or would he be in like a futuristic
Yeah,
car,
robotic
or,
horse.
or would he be in like a floating motorbike,
Nah.
or would he
No,
be on a
sheriff.
horse?
Yeah, they
Motorbike.
don't really have motorbikes.
Can we put a lasso in there, please? I just want to start lassoing stuff. That'd be
What about
so
like a
fun.
more futuristic personal fit? It's just like being just whatever material it is, then like more like maybe it's like a handle, maybe it's like all electric kind of based one.
Yeah.
More energy
Or
based.
like what you could have is instead of like a lasso that like is just like you physically hold it, it's a part of your hand. Like maybe you have an arm that can change into different weapons.
Or like an
wait.
inspector gadget sort of thing.
Yeah, so you could have like a
Yeah.
lasso, like
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
into your arm, and you can whip it around and pull it back, and then it'll change into a hand again.
If we give him like the concept I said about having like robotic arms, maybe you could have it like an electrical charge in one of his fingers. So instead of whipping the horse, you could just give him a short shock.
Yeah, it would
Spark
mean-
him into
give
going
him, like,
faster.
one bar left, kind of thing from zero. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Basic for Dan, just giving people electrical shocks all the time.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know what happened yesterday.
So like,
Yeah, but
Fine.
what about upgrades then? Because I'm thinking the main character could drink like whiskey, and that could increase his
oh yeah,
damage,
whiskey.
his vision go blurry for a little bit.
Yeah.
If he
What
drinks
would,
too
what
much.
would he drink or eat to make his health go up? Kind of
Well,
thing.
bread usually, don't they? That's what they really had.
Or like bread and dirty water.
Wow.
Well, Leon's idea is like with whiskey, like although it does that make you more delusional, it does like maybe increases your like stamina, maybe increases like rate of fire of your weapons, like how fast you aim and shoot, how fast, or maybe like you may perceive like, you know how you say like in the crit wars the game will slow down, like maybe like when it's like that your player you're like faster than like the enemy, so like you can sort of like move and aim faster than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have like different drinks affect different stats. Like I don't know, whiskey can like make you faster, like you said. Or what else did they add? Like I don't know, rum could affect your charisma, so you get different speech options when talking to the NPCs.
That's just arrogance, really, isn't it? You get a bit drunk and cocky.
Well, yeah, same sort of thing.
We can always make a whole new interaction phase and stuff like that for it. So
Yeah.
when you're being drunk and whatever, people will act different, like the like the bots and stuff like that are walking around the map as like just normal civilians.
Give
Could
you
act
dirty look.
differently. Yeah, act differently and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think there's just one more main thing to discuss, and that's the story of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his
Have
story
any of
like?
you got
Why?
any idea?
How did
Like,
he
George,
get to?
have you got
How did a
some-
cowboy get to the future, kind of thing?
If we're like talking about games, maybe we don't have to explain them being in the future. Maybe we could say the reason he has these robotic feet is due to a rival gang, and now that he's been taken to a place and now he's like a genetic hybrid, now it's his turn to take revenge. And maybe like his family or something has been killed in the process because they came to his house or something.
Yeah.
And you just want to see it happen again to like, you have like 30 years, I don't want to see anything happen between them, so it's like, he'll sort of sort out the problem between them while also dealing with like the games that like ruined him in like a sense of, I've been through this myself, I don't want to happen to anyone else kind of story.
We could have like, so maybe he's living in actual current day at the moment like we are, yeah, but then he finds out through like history and stuff like that one of his relatives died for some reason, but to a gang or something like that, and he goes back in time to try and like stop it, but then he misses out on that time and like completely like goes too far ahead or too far back, and then now he just has to live in that morph between Western day and modern day.
So reverse Assassin's Creed in that case, like they go to the future to come to the past, like their descendants kind of stuff. Could do.
Well, in my opinion, I think we should just keep it to one universe, like not really
Yeah.
have that time travel stuff.
Otherwise that'd be a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, no, I wasn't saying like as in he could travel between two times. It's like as in that's how he got to where he was, and then he just stays in Wild West and future kind of thing.
We'd have to make a cutscene to explain that to him now.
Yeah.
You know, you can explain the science correctly behind all that happening. So it seems quite complicated, but we could do something like that, yeah.
Okay, well, has anyone got any other points they want to add or ideas they want to discuss?
Not right now, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think we've covered most of the stuff. Well, there's some good concepts and good ideas, but I think that's enough for today's podcast for Gakusei Games. And we'll join you next time with our next podcast. So, bye for now.